You want to put a 2024 bumper on your 2017 pickup? I did. I'll show you some issues I ran into. Really, it's a pretty easy deal. Not too much trouble at all. I got my bumper from a wrecking yard. It was a new takeoff. A lot of wrecking yards or like flatbed dealers have new bumpers, new beds, new stuff like that. People buy a brand new pickup, put a flatbed or utility box on it, and it's a good opportunity if you're a scrounger to come up with something nice that's affordable. 17, I put my old wiring harness in it. That's pretty straightforward. So the wiring harness is out of the 2017. It was real easy. Thing to keep in mind, the truck that this bumper came off of had regular light bulbs for the tail lights, or the license plate lights. My 2017 has LED lights. All I had to do, the LED little chip guy plugs right in there. No big deal. All that's straightforward. Really the biggest hurdle so far is that my backup, my park sensors are different. So like this little guy that the park sensor goes into doesn't fit in this new bumper. The ones that come in here on these 24s, they don't fit the 2017 park sensors quite right. So I think what I'm going to do, trying to keep, see, like this end is thinner than that end. I think all of these have this horizontal, they have at least one horizontal notch on them. And I think what I'm going to do, because all of these have one horizontal notch on them that keeps that top part lined up, I think I'm going to trim these two guys off. And then that should, because these little clippy doos on the side are what hold it in. And then as long as it's got at least one of these to keep it from rotating, like we should be macaroni, right? And it fits, it wants to go. It's just these guys are in the way. So I think I'm going to trim these guys out of the way. And then those should go in there. And then my park sensors should go in there. And then we'll see if what else kind of holds us up on this deal. But it's looking pretty promising so far. I think it's going to be a pretty good deal. Let's see what happens. Boom. Good as new. So an issue I ran into putting the park sensors into this bumper is on the ends, they go in there just fine. And they sit just the way they're supposed to. But on the middle ones, get a little light in there. You got this doggone, this lip here sticks out too far. And you can't get your sensor in all the way. No bueno. So what it did, so I took a die grinder, and get past the wiring and shit here. Took a die grinder, and I ground a little notch in that ledge. You gotta be kind of careful, because you don't want to go too far and get it into that. This is how I solved it, I don't know. You might not have this problem, but anyway, I ground a little that little notch out of there with a die grinder, just carefully, and you go from no bueno look at that. It's muy bueno. Very good. Just right, man. Another thing on these is the wiring clips here. Like this one I was able to save off of my old harness and reuse it. But the one, let's see if I can get some light down in there. This one right here, whoever took it apart wasn't me, broke it. And I don't like just letting crap hang around and wiggle and wobble and stuff. And so I got Vico, however you say it. It's pretty good stuff. I have a supplier in town, and I use their product quite a bit. It's good stuff, but I got these guys, and it's just a zip tie that goes in the holder, and that'll secure your stuff. That's the part number that I use. But anyhow, it's pretty easy peasy. You can do all of this at the same time. You just put that little guy in there. I can't quite have enough room to push that with my hand. And you can't see that. Anyway, there. Push it down till it snaps. I heard it click. And then you got a handy dandy zip tie sticking up there. And then you just wrap her on around. I can't do this with one hand. Anyway, look at that. Ka-chow. Nice and tidy, just like Papa Ford intended. The other thing to consider is these little cutouts they occupy this space right here. Actually more like that space right there. If you look at a new bed, this plastic piece is a little different. It doesn't have these push button clips on them, but the new one actually has this cut out factory. So I think we'll just trim that little guy out of there, and then this bumper should bolt on. You want to be somewhat cautious when you cut this out on account of your tailgate little shock doohickeys there. I just cut it out real quick with a cut-off wheel on an angle grinder. Worked pretty good, but just be careful of that little guy in there. There you have it. 2024 bumper on a 2017. Looks pretty dang good.